When John got home, he was exhausted after a long week of work. All he wanted to do was eat and go to bed. When he walked in the front door, he saw his wife Kelly behind him, walking from the living room to the kitchen. She was wearing a little black dress. John made his way into the kitchen and caught Kelly writing a note. Kelly stopped writing and looked up when he walked in. "It's so good to have you home." "I guess I don't need to leave you a note," Kelly said. "What is it?" John asked. He swept his hand up and down in Kelly's direction to indicate that his question was about why she was dressed like that. "I'm going on a date tonight," said Kelly. "On a date?" John asked. "Yes. Lisa called earlier that she, Julie, and Emily were going to have a bachelorette party tonight. They invited me, and I said yes," said Kelly. "A bachelorette party?" John asked. "That's right," replied Kelly. "And you're going?" John asked. "Yes," replied Kelly. "And dressed like that?" John asked. Kelly lowered her gaze to herself. "Well, yeah, that's exactly what I was planning on wearing." "Doesn't it look good?" Kelly asked. "Oh, it looks good, Kelly, too good," said John. "There is no such thing as too good," said Kelly. "There is when you're the husband of a married woman who is going to a bachelorette party with her unmarried friends," said John. "Oh, I see. You're worried about what might happen if I go out without you," Kelly said. "You're damn right I am. I see the way guys look at you when I'm with you. If I'm not around, they'll squint at you," John said. Kelly walked over and put her arms around John's neck. "Honey, do you trust me?" Kelly asked. "Of course I trust you, Kelly," replied John. "Then you should trust me when I tell you that all I'm going to do is have a good time with the girls and maybe dance with a few guys, but then I'm coming home to you," Kelly said. "Kelly, I believe you when you say that, and I believe that you are really going to do that tonight. But I also know that you're Kelly, and that's why I'm worried," John said. "What do you mean?" Kelly asked. "I know you like attention, so a few guys are likely to turn into pretty much every guy in this place asking you to dance. Plus, you're easy on the alcohol. 2 or 3 drinks and you'll loosen up to the point where you let go of your inhibitions, and that's when things can get out of hand," John said. "Then let's do this." "I promise I won't drink tonight," Kelly said. "Again, I believe you when you say you're not going to, but most guys who want to dance with you will either send you a drink to get your attention or ask for a drink with them after the dance. You won't want to hurt their feelings, so you'll say yes and have a drink with them, then another, and another. It won't be long before you find yourself in their arms. We've had to leave a few parties early because you got drunk and wobbly. If I'm not there to stop them and your defenses are weakened by alcohol, well, I don't even want to think about what could happen," John said. Kelly still has her arms around John's neck. She looks into his eyes and sees that he is genuinely concerned. "So you're saying I can't go?" Kelly asked. "I'm not saying that, Kelly. I know how much you enjoyed going out with the girls, but I'm worried about what might happen if you go without me," John said. Kelly stared into John's eyes for several minutes and pondered his words. The more she thought about it, the more she realized he was probably right. Still, she wanted to go. An idea occurred to her. "You say you're worried about what might happen if I go somewhere without you. What if you went too?" Kelly asked. "Oh, sure. I'm sure the others would love it if I came to their bachelorette party," replied John. "I wasn't thinking about you coming with us. I was thinking more about you going to the same club and watching over me from afar. That way I can go with the girls and have a good time, and you can be there to make sure things don't get out of hand," Kelly said. John looked into Kelly's eyes and saw a nervous but hopeful expression on her face as she waited for his response. John pondered her suggestion. He still didn't like the idea of Kelly dancing with other guys, but if he was around to watch her, it should be okay. "Okay. Give me 10 minutes to change," John said. Kelly giggled and jumped around like a little girl with excitement. She kissed John and then pulled him into the bedroom and started going through his clothes to find what she needed. "The club is that new club on 3rd. I forget what it's called," said Kelly. "I think I know what club you're talking about. The one with the crazy coloring with 5 different shades of red, said John. That's him, Kelly said. She picked out the clothes John wanted to wear and he changed. Okay, so how's this going to go down? Are you going to drive straight there, or are you and the girls going to meet somewhere and then drive together? John asked. We're meeting at Lisa's and driving together. You should probably go there right away so you already know the location of the club and know where you need to be to follow me, said Kelly. I think that's a good idea, said John. They both headed to their cars. When they reached the driveway, John took Kelly's hands and pulled her to him. Kelly, I want you to know that I trust you. And I want you to have a good time tonight. I just don't want something to happen tonight that we'll regret tomorrow, John said. I don't want that either. I think having you here is a really good idea. I'll be able to have fun and still be safe. Well, I'd better go to Lisa's. I'll be there in 5 minutes, Kelly said. Okay, I love you, John said. I love you too, said Kelly. They kiss, then they both get in the car and drive off. John finds the club, parks the car, goes inside and starts looking around the place. It's a fairly open place, with a dance floor in the center of the main room and tables set up outside. The bar is a long L-shaped counter, taking up almost 2 walls. John takes a drink and sits at one of the small tables overlooking the dance floor. From this spot, John can see the entire room. After about 15 minutes, he sees Kelly, Lisa, Julie, and Emily enter the room. They sit down at a table on the opposite side of the room from John, but right by the dance floor so he can easily see them. Their drinks are brought to them, and not a minute passes before all 4 of them are on the dance floor. John doesn't want everyone looking at him to think he's some kind of psycho who's been staring at one particular woman all night, so he looks around the room, but his gaze keeps returning to Kelly. A woman approaches the table. Would you like to dance? Amy asks. John looks at the attractive brunette. Sure, John says. They go out on the dance floor and dance to a few songs, then return to John's table for a drink. John immediately looks for Kelly. He sees her at the far end of the dance floor, dancing with some guy. So, which one is she? Amy asks. Which one? John asked. Either your wife or your girlfriend or something. Which one is she? Amy asked. What makes you think I even have a wife or girlfriend? John asked. Well, most single guys don't wear wedding rings, and most guys having a drink with a girl at a private table don't look at the dance floor. You don't take your eyes off someone. So which one is she? Amy asked. John looked at Amy. She could see right through him and could tell he was watching Kelly. The blonde on the far end of the dance floor. The one in the short black dress is dancing with the guy in the red shirt, John said. Amy looked at Kelly and then at John. She's hot. So you're spying on her? Amy asked. No, she knows I'm here, replied John. Oh, are you one of those guys who gets turned on by seeing your wife with other guys? Amy asked. Hell no, replied John. Then why are you here? Amy asked. Because I trust my wife. But I don't trust any of the guys in this place, and my trust in her wanes when she gets drunk, which happens to her pretty easily, said John. Oh, so you're here to make sure nothing happens to her, Amy said. Exactly, John said. Well, if you don't trust the other guys around her and you don't trust her when she gets drunk, why did you even let her come here? Amy asked. She has 3 friends. They are used to doing everything together. All 3 are single. And my wife, well, she's married. So she hasn't dated a girl in almost 4 years. Her friends didn't even ask her, but they asked her to come over tonight. I wasn't thrilled with the idea, but we decided that if I was here it would be okay, John said. That's so sweet. You let your wife come over and do something you didn't like, and you're here to make sure nothing bad happens to her, Amy said. That son of a bitch is my girlfriend, John said. What happened? Amy asked. The guy she was dancing with put his hand on her ass. She pushed him off. The problem is that in an hour or so, when she has a couple more drinks, she won't be able to push his hand away, John said. So you plan to sit here and watch her all night? Amy asked. That's exactly what I was planning on doing. Yes, John said. Well, you stick out like an eyesore sitting here watching her all the time, said Amy. So what do you suggest I do instead? John asked. Well, if she spends a lot of time on the dance floor, then maybe you should spend more time on the dance floor too, said Amy. I suppose that's a good idea. Did you suggest it yourself or did you just hint at it? John asked. I liked our first dance, that's why I'm suggesting it. Besides, I'm here tonight to have fun, dance, drink, and talk. I have no intention of going home with anyone, and since you're married and you're watching your wife to make sure she doesn't go off with anyone, I think the likelihood of me going home with you is very slim, Amy said. John smiled. Then it looks like we can be very useful to each other tonight. Let's head to the dance floor, John says. John and Amy head to the dance floor, and this continues for the rest of the evening. Amy helps John keep an eye on Kelly. She has a few drinks, loosens up, and as John predicted, stops pushing his hands away when they reach for her ass. Lisa, Julie, and Emily can't seem to find anyone to hook up with, so they sit at their table and drink while Kelly is asked to dance again and again and again. Finally, near the end of the evening, Kelly is completely exhausted. She walks over to her table and sits down. Lisa and Emily are already there. Julie is dancing. Amy and John go back to their table. Considering what time it is, the guys are going to start talking her into going home with them pretty soon. If I were you, I'd ask her to dance and then get her out of here before anyone tries, Amy says. That's a good idea. Thanks for your help. I really enjoyed dancing and talking with you, said John. I enjoyed it too, said Amy. John kissed Amy on the cheek and headed over to the table where Kelly, Lisa, and Emily were sitting. Excuse me, miss, but would you like to dance? John asked. Lisa and Emily look at John in surprise and look back at him nervously. Kelly doesn't look at him, so she doesn't realize it's him at first. I'm sorry, but I think we're done dancing for tonight, Kelly says. Are you sure? I couldn't convince you to give me just one dance? John asked. Kelly turned her head and looked at John. Oh, hi, honey. I didn't realize it was you. Of course I'll dance with you, said Kelly. Lisa, I assume you were driving, so after the dance, Kelly and I will drive home so you don't have to worry about her, John said. Oh, okay. Have you been here the whole time? Lisa asked. Did you really think I would let Kelly come to a place like this by herself? Look at her. She's in total distress right now. If I wasn't here, she might have gone home with some other guy. If you'll excuse us, John says. John and Kelly go out on the dance floor and start dancing. After the dance, they head for the door. Kelly is very drunk, so John has to hold her down as they walk to his car. He gets her home and puts her to bed. Saturday morning, John is sitting in the kitchen reading the paper when Kelly walks into the room in her robe, pours herself a cup of coffee, and sits down. So, how much of last night do you remember? John asks. Not that much. All I remember is that you were dancing with some brunette, says Kelly. Oh, that was Amy. She saw right through me and could tell I was there to keep an eye on you. She just wanted to dance, drink, and talk, so she figured I'd be safe since I wasn't going to talk her into coming home with me, John said. Yeah, am I out of control? Kelly asked. No, I didn't let you out of my sight for more than a few minutes and I didn't see anything wrong. When you got drunk, you let a few guys grab your ass while you were dancing and maybe touched a few bodies, but nothing that was too upsetting, said John. Good. I'm glad nothing happened. Did I go home with you? Kelly asked. Yeah, I went. We'll have to stop by Lisa's later to pick up your car, said John. Did I at least dance with you? Kelly asked. Yes, you did dance. In fact, you saved the last dance of the evening for me right before we left, said John. Good. I'm not sick or anything? Kelly asked. Surprisingly, no, replied John. I guess I had a good time? Kelly asked. Yeah. It sounds like you did have a good time. You danced with at least 20 different guys. In fact, you yourself danced with almost as many as Julie, Lisa, and Emily combined. And as far as I know, you're the only one of the four of you to walk out the door with a guy, John said. Kelly smiled. Thanks for letting me go last night. Thank you for making sure I was safe. Thanks for making sure I got home okay. I had a lot of fun, but I won't be doing anything like that again anytime soon, Kelly said. I'm just glad everything went well. I knew I didn't want to face the morning thinking about what you might have done last night. Or worse, knowing what you did last night and knowing it was something really bad, John said. Luckily, we won't have to worry about that. I think I'll go back to bed and try to sleep, said Kelly. Okay, I love you, said John. I love you too, Kelly replied. She leaned over to kiss John and then headed back to the bedroom.